Now we go to the penultimate pre-final. It's DD2 up next, and here is your starting grid. So, 3 wins out of 3 in the heats yesterday put Zana Schriblak on pole position. He'll be joined by Martin van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. There's Hannes Border in the 413. He's due to start 19th, but will be starting from the repair area. So there'll be a gap alongside Konopka, who rounds out the top 20. It's Chris Harnen and Matthias Jere Jacobsen on row 2. Matis Malinowskis and Mark Kimber, row 3. Lasse Andreasen and Mick Knowlton, row 4. Jules Cousin and Axel Sarniala complete the top 10. Ronnie Göttler, Maxime Dirix, Fabian Bock, Carl Borgard, Axel Bengtsson, Florian Breitenbach, Tom Braken, Lawrence Seyfried. We were due to have Hannes Wodder, as I just said, and Martin Konopka rounding out the top 20. Completing the 29-strong grid as the field goes on to the formation lap. Bendit Sabo, Nicolas Guillaume, Matic Kolmanic, Charlie Turner, Christopher Zaxa, Hugo Schwarzer, Nikita Ilyanov, Jamie Smith and Kylian Gerhardt. So the drivers now start preparing ahead of their penultimate race of the Golden Trophy. 14 minutes plus an additional lap of racing in prospect, and the red lights are now ignited on the start-finish gantry. The wind has picked up here. The flags from many nations alongside the start-finish straight flapping around in the breeze. So Zana Schriblak and Martin van Leeuwen on the front row. Then it's Harnen, Jere Jacobsen, Malinowskis, Kimber, Andresen, Knowlton, Cousin and Sarniala on the top 10. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out first time. Good start by Schriblak. As now the field starts to fan out and Hannes Border makes his way out onto the circuit. As it's getting a bit close. 4 wide coming out of turn number 2. And everyone thus far has made it through. Charlie Turner's made up a handful of places in the opening couple of corners as the field makes its way through turn 6 for the opening time. At the back of the field, it's Christopher Zaxa from Denmark. With Hannes Border a little bit further adrift, who's making his way down the Europlan now. In the back of the shot, there's Zana Schriblak starting to eke out a lead. Matthias Jere Jacobsen has moved up into 3rd position, or 2nd position. And some positions being lost a bit further up. Now, how far has one Charlie Turner got up? He's gotten up into 18th place from 24th on the grid. There's Mick Knowlton battling away with Chris Harnen. Axel Sarniala just behind them. In 7th position, Matis Malinowskis. Maxime Dirix has made his way up into 9th. He said, I'm a bit worried about the mid-pack. Well, he's made it work. He's challenging for 8th. So Chris Harnen down to 6th position. Zana Schriblak had eked out a gap of about half a second after the opening tour, as the drivers make their way through into turn number 10. Lawrence Seyfried, in the meantime, has moved up from 18th to 12th. Could very soon be in the top 10. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Lasse Andreasen as Martin van Leeuwen retakes 2nd position. Up the inside of Matthias Jere Jacobsen. Mick Knowlton, in the meantime, has got past Mark Kimber for 4th place. Into turn 6, dive bomb attempt, which was successful from Chris Harnen coming out of turn 5 and lined it up neatly into the inside of turn 6 on Mark Kimber. who's now down into 5th. Axel Saniala is not too far behind either. There's the Finnish driver from Espoo. 20 years of age now. So several drivers in this field. Van Leeuwen, Kimber, Saniala, just a handful of drivers that have also picked up the title of Grand Finals champion. Van Leeuwen being the most recent one last year in Bahrain, as that's a nice little move, a nice send from Axel Saniala on Mark Kimber. Maxim Dirks has now joined the party. Carl Borgaard not too far behind either. Matis Malinowskis rounds out the top 10. It's under 11 minutes to go. A bit of a distance between Axel Saniala and Chris Hahnen just up ahead. So battle for third position being led by Mathias Jere Jacobsen from Denmark. Mick Knowlton in the 493 for the Netherlands. In 4th, 5th, Chris Hahnen. And now Hahnen looks to the inside. Did not, that was very, very close indeed, but Mick Knowlton had the run on the 437. There's Mark Kimber trying to do his best to get to grips with the Birol ART chassis. Those are the carts that will be used as the official chassis provider for the Grand Finals for this class, along with Micromax. Laurens Eifried now in 12th position, trying to make some headway, and has been closing his set fastest laps. But Fabian Bock from Germany has put him in the fastest lap of anybody, 54.401. Chris Hahnen still trying to get past Mick Knowlton, who still has Mathias Jere Jacobsen in front, but has started to pull away. There's Martin van Leeuwen. And, oh, right, nice move there by Chris Hahnen, getting the jump on Mick Knowlton. That nearly allowed Axel Saniala to come through, as well as Maxim Dirks. So those drivers are line astern coming through turn 8. Maxim Dirks gets past Axel Saniala in the meantime. So Dirks going up into 6th place. Maxim Dirks, vice champion in the Belgian Max Challenge this season, having attended all the races, finishing behind Mick Knowlton, who was the eventual champion and thereby qualified for the Grand Finals. Charlie Turner's made up another position, as is Laurens Eifried. Turner 17th, Seyfried 11th, and coming with Laurens Eifried is Belgium's Tom Braken. Around 50 seconds away from the halfway point of this race, 14 minutes in length, as Tom Braken up the inside of Laurens Eifried through turn number 10. At the front of the field, Zana Shriblak is commanding proceedings again, like he did last time, yesterday. Still 7¼ minutes remaining. There's the 4.88. That is Hugo Schwarzer from Germany, currently sitting in 19th position. Mick Knowlton trying to see if he can get past Chris Hahnen, but could that open the door for the 4.99 Maxim Dirks behind from Belgium? So go through into turn number 10. Zana Shriblak's lead last time was just over 9/10 of a second. Has he started extending that? Didix has set the fastest lap of the race on lap 7, 54.140. The Shrivelac crosses the line to complete lap 8. Gap now down to 0.8 between him and Van Leuven. And then Mick Knowlton returns the favour through turn 2. Maxime Didix looking to also get past Chris Harnan, but can't get it done. Now trying to put the pressure on the 437 from the Netherlands, going through turns 3, 4 and 5. Now into turn 6 and onto the Europalan once again. Axel Sarniala has started to close up. So is Carl Gustav Borgard from Denmark. Going up to 6 minutes remaining. And it's very much a game of chess out here right now. Chris Harnan looking for the opportunity to get past Mick Knowlton once again, but Knowlton staying defensive right now. That's allowing Maxime Didix to go up the inside, and he does so through turn 12. And Axel Sarniala nearly thought about that one, but the Finn had to back out of it. And there's Carl Borgard looking up the inside of Axel Sarniala and gets through before the apex of turn number 2. Nice anticipation there from the Dane in the 4.34, getting past the Finn in the 4.70. A little bit further behind. Well, Tom Bracken and Lawrence Seyfried, 11th and 12th, so not too far away from the top 10. Lawrence Seyfried started 18th. And funnily enough, Tom Bracken started alongside him on the inside of row number 9. 9 minutes down, 5 to go. Right, we've had a time penalty for pushing that was given to Axel Bengtsson, who has been the first driver to retire from the race on lap number 4. Now Matis Malinowskis has got Lawrence Seyfried behind, and Seyfried has got past Bracken. There's Fabian Bock Bock behind them, waiting the wings, the 481. Now Seyfried looking to line up the move. Up the inside he goes on Matis Malinowskis. Tom Bracken having to wait for his opportunity to get through. And Fabian Bock trying to get through on Matis Malinowskis, going through turn number 10. And now Bock makes it stick through turn 12. 10 minutes down, 4 to go, plus a lap. And Maxime Didix has now finally got past Mick Knowlton, now up into 4th place. Here's the 499. Maxime Didix has made some good headway. Started P12 and now Chris Harnan has managed to get through on Mick Knowlton himself. So the driver's still battling away. Alexander Shrivelac is losing that lead. Maxime Didix now has the fastest lap, 54.140. Martin van Leeuwen was 0.6 of a second behind on the previous lap, but now it's gone down to just under 4.5 tenths. So this is going to be crucial for the likes of drivers such as Chris Harnan, Maxime Didix, amongst others, that are looking to book their place. So 2.5 minutes to go. Top 10 now rounded out by Lawrence Seyfried from Germany in the 4.20. Tom Bracken now in 11th place. Being a bit on the back foot following on from the 3 heats yesterday. There are your 2 race leaders, Sander Shrivelac and Martin van Leeuwen. Belgium versus the Netherlands on the former's home soil track. Matthias Jette Jacobsen in 3rd. Maxime Didix, Chris Harnan, Mick Knowlton, and now it could be Axel Sarniala. It is Axel Sarniala that gets through on Carl Christoph Borgard. That is for Gustav Borgard. That is for 7th place. Mark Kimber in 9th. Lawrence Seyfried being closely followed by Tom Bracken. Fabian Bock, Matis Malinowskis, and Charlie Turner, who started 24th, now up 10 places to 14th. And Lasse Andreasen from Denmark completes the top 15. 28 of the 29 drivers still circulating after 13 laps, with a minute and a half plus an additional lap on the timer still to go. That gap is dwindling between the top two. Now it's under 2.5 tenths. Schublak and Van Leeuwen about to engage into battle lines being drawn. Now into turn 5. Schublak bumps over the curbs with the left-hand wheels, and Van Leeuwen is starting to close. He's gearing up for a move, but not quite yet, coming out of turn number 7. But through turn 8, but to have taken a tighter line through the entry point. Now through into turn 9. That gap is minimal at best. That's about a kart length and a half at best, and under the braking zone, it diminishes. Through turn 11, Schublak now knows he can feel the pressure from behind. 28 seconds. We now go onto our penultimate lap. Lap 16 gets underway, and the gap between Van Leeuwen and Schublak in the lead is now just under 2 tenths. Van Leeuwen was closing, and decided not to go for it. But if he could get a good run, a good apex speed through turn 5, and head into turn 6 and get the run on Schublak going down the Europalan. It's about 2 kart lengths between them, so not on this occasion. Martin Van Leeuwen will have one more lap after this to get his opportunity. Turn 10 might be a good chance if he's close enough to facilitate a late braking move on Sander Schublak. But Van Leeuwen has competed against the 406 before from Belgium. It's now the last lap board for the DD2 Prefinal is currently about to get underway. 17th and final lap now is on, and look at the gap. 0.13 between Schublak and Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen now sizing up. He's waiting for that moment. Schublak will not make it easy for him. Through into turn 5 once again. Into turn 6. Van Leeuwen trying to go round the outside and get the undercut. He's got a gap there. Van Leeuwen pulling alongside Schublak into turn 7, and there's a slight touch between the pair, but Schublak holds on, and look who's just closed in that gap very significantly, Matthias Jette Jakobsen. And it's going to be a run to the line between the top 3. Who's it going to be? Schublak, Van Leeuwen, or Jette Jakobsen? We are about to find out of the final corner. Schublak's going to lead the train and win the pre-final by 88 thousandths of a second across the line after 17 laps. Schublak did exactly what he needed to do, not give an inch, and not for Martin Van Leeuwen to take a mile. Great sportsmanship between the pair. Schublak knew that Van Leeuwen was going to close on in. And by less than 1/10 of a second, Schublak and his 100% winning success rates continues. That's the pre-final. The final later on at 3:25 p.m. could be a very different story. So let's have a look at the results. 88 thousandths was the winning margin between Sander Schublak and Martin Van Leeuwen. Matthias Jette Jakobsen, Maxime Dirks, Chris Haanen, Mick Knowlton, Axel Saniala, Carl Borgaard, Mark Kimber and Tom Bracken ran at the top 10. Lawrence Seyfried, Fabian Bock, Matis Malinowskis, and from 24th to 14th, Charlie Turner from Great Britain. Lasse Andreasen in 15th, ahead of Florian Breitenbach, Kilian Gerhard, Ronnie Göttler, Jules Cousin, Martin Konopka, Bendit Sabo, Hugo Schwarzer, JB Smith, Nicolas Guillaume, Christopher Zaxa, Hannes Border, Nikita Ilyanov, Matisz Kormanich, and retiring with 4 laps completed was Axel Bengtsson. So Hannes Border would have to start after the start got underway, which it did in earnest. And Zana Shriblak led the field away. And we found to nearly 3 to 4 wide, heading into the run into turns 1 and 2. Martin van Leeuwen trying to go around the outside. And Matthias Jette-Jacobsen, as Mark Kimber was trying to hold his position. Mick Knowlton managed to get through on Mark Kimber, as Martin van Leeuwen took second place for Matthias Jette-Jacobsen. Chris Harnan and Axel Saniala managing to get through. And Maxime Dirix managed to get through and get himself involved, which is quite nice to see. Mick Knowlton was on the back foot. But the battles were definitely thick and fast. Maxime Dirix managing to get through. Martin van Leeuwen on the final lap, trying to go around the outside, through into the Europolan, looked to the inside, through into turn 7. Shriblak late braked, touch between the two, and Shriblak kept the lead. But Matthias Jette-Jacobsen was waiting in the wings, and Shriblak won the race by 88 thousandths of a second.